Hello, welcome to Talk Games. Just finished Bournemouth 3, West Ham 2. Loads to talk about, loads of goals, loads of actions, missed penalties, everything. And I think we're going to have to discuss the manager's tactics and his selection. Tom, they got a penalty pretty much early doors. We all seen it coming. We all thought, do not play for Gooley. He plays for Gooley. They come down that side. He gives away a penalty.
Do you want a bit of a rant now about Faguli, or are we going to do that in a minute?
Talk about the penalty decision.
All right. Yeah, 100%. It was a penalty. Don't know what Faguli was doing. He was out of position. Saw it coming from a mile off. We all said it this week. Everybody has said it. Don't play Faguli, especially not just after his performance against Chelsea, but just in general. He doesn't track back, and he's shocking at covering that right back spot. What does he do? Goes and gives away a penalty. Justified that we were all speaking about him in such a way this week. Shocking once again. And yeah, thankfully they actually went and missed it. It was a shocking penalty for a guy that absolutely smashed one in against Man United the week before.
Then we went straight up to the other end though, Jason. Faguli with the assist, although it wasn't exactly like a blinding cross and put on a plate for him. He gave it to Antonio, but very good finish from Antonio.
Yeah, no, the pivot and then slide it straight away into the bottom corner. But it just goes to show, I mean, neither defence covered themselves in glory in that game. It was shocking on both fronts, to be honest. I mean, Faguli giving away that penalty was pound for pound what happened with Kouyaté bundling over Marcos Alonso, I believe it was. And we really could have learned from that mistakes. And I've been really desperately disappointed with Faguli. Now he's broken into the team and he's sort of become one of the first names on the team sheet. He's almost like got a bit complacent and a bit comfortable when he's really just sorely let us all down, really.
We'll speak about individuals after we've gone through the game highlights. We're going to try and rush through the highlights as fast as we can, though, because there's a lot to talk about. Tom, if you were a Bournemouth fan, Noble got booked for our penalty. I assume he was ranting at the referee about it or something. And then, bookable challenge, would you say, not long after we scored? Would you say that's a second yellow? Stupid as a captain?
Without a shadow of a doubt, one of the worst possible tackles that you could do just after getting a yellow card. He is lucky to stay on, to be honest with you, because he went over the top of the ball, I'm pretty sure, onto his ankle. Thankfully didn't catch him, because that is an ankle breaker, leg breaker if he catches him. So literally 5 minutes after the other challenge there, Bobby Madley has really got away with that one. And from a captain, especially like Noble, you expect better, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the lack of discipline in that. Actually, when I seen that tackle, I thought he's got to go. And when I seen the replay, I thought, I'm surprised he didn't send him off. But Madley, I think we're going to criticise him a little bit in this show, but he gave us one there. He bottled that, actually. I think Noble should have been off. If I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd been pointing at that, saying, why is he not gone? But Jason, from then on, it was all Bournemouth, really, wasn't it? They went close. Afobe went close, although it was offside or it was handball or whatever. King went close. Randolph had to make a couple of good saves from Fraser, and then I think it was Cook's header. I mean, they were really knocking on the door.
I think we all had the sort of superstition going into the game. It's almost like if they want to turn around their form, come face us, and they were well up for it. And we just looked so flat, so deflated. I mean, it was really a poor showing from top to bottom, really. I don't think any of our players can really come out of that game with their head held high. It was just Bournemouth just wanted it that little bit more, and they got the rich reward from it. I mean, not much more to say on that front.
It was a good goal, though, wasn't it, Jason? King, he takes it over Font, and he thought he was poor against Chelsea. I thought he was poor again today, actually. King done him big time for that goal, but a different type of goal to Antonio, but another really good finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Randolph was keeping us in the game, to be honest, with pulling out a couple of stops. I mean, it could have really been a cricket score if they took away those penalties on top of taking those chances too. And I mean, eventually all that pressure, it was going to pay off in the end. And yeah, no, fantastic goal, looping it over Fonte, Reed, or whoever it was, and just slotting it away. Job done.
Well, we went in at half-time 1-1. Somehow Bournemouth should have been ahead. Bilic somehow did no changes at all, despite the fact that we were in our own box for most of the first half. We had very little going forward. And then Bournemouth, well, they missed another penalty, first of all. Tom, was that a penalty for you? I thought that was a bit softer. The first one was Stonewall. I thought this one was either or, but for me, I think I would have been edging on the side of Penn. But poor penalty, but a very good save by Randolph.
Yeah, I guess he's he has guessed the right way, but at the end of the day, it was a scuff pen and it was a really poor taken pen. There was no real confidence in his shot, but I think that's a striker that's probably been lacking in goals, and you could see from his finish there that it was just no confidence in his stroke and his strike. Maybe not as stonewall as the other one, but again, Feghouli caught out of position and it was left to Fonte. And Bournemouth were very quick all afternoon, turned Fonte in the box. And if you leg out, you give the referee a choice. And Bobby Madley was happy to give another pen. So I think it wasn't a stonewall to first, but it was probably most likely a penalty. So
second pen Fonte is given away at West Ham already, isn't it? He gave away one the other game, so that's the second pen he's given away. But then after half time, King got the goal for Bournemouth. There was a bit of we started to say it was offside or handball. I don't know which we were going for, but to me it's neither. What about yourself, Tom? I think that's a legit goal, perfect goal, 2-1 deserved, bang.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? It was a legitimate goal. Should have been 2-1. I mean, there's not a lot really you can say about it. It should have been a goal. And once again, we were caught out and we were unlucky. We were lucky. Sorry, again. We rode our luck the entire first half and midway through the second half up until the point where we had possession. But it was just a poor performance for 60 minutes of the match, really.
Jason, it's obviously a training ground move they've worked on to an extent where King stands. The group goes to one edge of the 18-yarder. He goes to the other side of the box and stands offside. But why have we not got defender in line with our defence, but also in line with King? So when the defence move in, someone moves in to King. Why is he still standing there? Because although the first header comes in, it comes down, he's unmarked. He's just standing there. How are we letting a guy who's already scored in the game? He's had 5 and 6 before today's game, so he's in form, but we're just leaving him there. He's going to get played onside eventually. But the point is, we've got no one there to mark him when he is played onside. Is this just does that sum up our defensive side of the game today?
Definitely. And I thought, well, bringing in someone like Jose Fonte into the team with the organisation leadership skills he has, it would have been, the first person that comes to mind with Bournemouth's attacking threat is Josh King, because he's the one that's been in form out of the whole team. You think the first person they'd keep an eye on would be someone with the sort of form and consistency he's been in. And I don't know, it just didn't seem like no one really wanted to step up to the plate. I don't think even Slav sort of said, every time there's a set piece or anything like, please keep an eye on this guy. He's the one that can make something happen for this team. And we were caught off our trousers down, and he tucked it away for 2-1.
Well, the team that we should have started with ended up kind of being on the pitch after 57 minutes as Bilic brought on Snodgrass and Ayew for Feghouli and Noble, moved Lanzini into the middle. Tom, all of a sudden we had a different West Ham on our hands.
What a surprise, though. I'll save my little rant about the whole Bilic thing until the end, but until we talk about, him and his selections and stuff. But at the time, that's 15 minutes too late, Gio. It's 15 minutes too late. Feghouli had one of the worst performances in a first half I've seen all season, and Bilic had to be reactive and proactive. I've said this word now for the last 2 months in tag. He needed to be reactive at half-time and bring Ayew on, because he was just, I don't care if he assisted today, Feghouli. He was shocking. He was absolutely shocking, and it was 15 minutes too late. Ayew had justified his start this week, and he should have gone into the team. And the whole complexion of the game changed when the two of them came on. What a surprise. And like I said, it's just 15 minutes too late, because the way that first half was, and the way that Bournemouth had set up to bring 2 men down that left-hand side at all times to double up on Feghouli because it was so open, that carried on for the first 15 minutes in the first half, and he still didn't make the change. You know what I mean? They should have been on at half-time. But I guess we'll talk about that probably in a little bit more depth.
We'll talk about Bilic and more tactics after the highlights. We've still got a couple of highlights to get through. It was that ram-packed this game. Jason, we finally Byron came on for Kayati in the 76th minute, and we finally put a right back on into right back. And then what difference? I mean, let's ignore for this bit. Can we just ignore the whole game, Jason, and take out our second goal? That was beautiful football.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys are saying, we're so tired of seeing square pegs and round holes here. Why do we have to keep shoehorning someone? It's almost like Slav doesn't, as we've said before, Slav doesn't seem to want to make the big decision and drop one of the big names to actually accommodate someone that actually plays in a natural position. But he's got to look at that and just see, like it's staring him in the face. If we can see it, he's paid a lot of money to be in this sort of role to make these decisions. Surely, if we can see it, he must be able to see it too. And I don't know if it's just blind ignorance. But yeah, going back to the goal, it was beautifully taken, and then Ayew pouncing upon it with that poacher's instinct. And we were back in it. We were going to almost clutch a point from the jaws of defeat, really, to be honest. And it's just, yeah.
Tom, what did you make of the goal? I mean, Obiang, could you get a better pass than that for Byram? Credit to Byram, fantastic run, composed to cut it back to Ayew. We made it look so simple once we had the players on the pitch.
Once we had the players on the pitch, it was that simple. God, I'm actually getting angry now. I can't wait to talk about this in a minute. No, it was an absolute peach of a ball. That was a world-class ball. Byram, great cutback. Ayew, easy finish, just like his finish against Watford, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just like his finish against Watford. Carbon copy, really, almost in the same position, for a tap-in. And that's what a proper right-back will do. An attacking right back, he'll track up and down that right hand side all game, and he was in the right place that he probably should have been at the time. Byram, it was a lovely cutback, but take nothing away. That ball from Pedro Obiang was absolutely sublime.
One of the best passes I've seen this season, I think, from Obiang or from anyone in a West Ham shirt. But that pass was just magnificent. How he spots that run as well is unbelievable. Jason, very quickly, should we have had a pen right at the death there? Carroll crossed it, hit Smith on the arm. Is his arm in an unnatural position to you, or is it a case of ball to arm?
It's as he was so close to him as well, but he was covering over his chest as well, so it wasn't really like it could have made a difference anyway. Off his arm, if it was off his chest, it would have got the exact same result, and I think we were clutching at straws, to be honest.
I think it's a grey area. His arm's unnatural, but he's a yard away. You can't possibly move it out of the way. Then it's 3-2, Tom. Deserved for Ayew gives it away. Bournemouth break 5-on-3 or something, and good save by Randolph, and there's King, hat trick, bang. But deserved for Bournemouth, Tom?
Probably might get a bit of crap for this, but I think it was, to be honest with you. The way that the whole sort of 90 minutes panned out, I thought they deserved it more than us. They were fast, they were quick, they were energetic, they wanted it more than us. They were doing all the right things tactically. It's fair enough. They for me, they deserved that third goal after the way that they played, because really, as a complete performance, apart from a couple of lucky breaks or good moments of brilliance from a couple of people, from Antonio and Obiang for the pass, we were shocking for 90 minutes. So for me, well deserved by Bournemouth, to be honest with you. But makes you laugh, and that's their first win in 3 months. So.
Yeah, I think they totally deserved it as well. I think when it was 2-2 and it was coming to the closing stages, I was thinking we don't deserve this. We really don't deserve it. I felt like we were going to be papering over cracks, and it would almost like delay the problem until when we next get beat, until we can all rant about it, because you don't feel like you should rant about it too much if we draw, etc. But let's talk about it now. Let's talk about the man in the dugout. Let's talk about his tactics. Let's talk about his team selection. Let's talk about some individual players. I mean, Jason, what's going on? Is it just a case of Bilic ain't got no balls to drop the big ones? He can't be that thick to not notice what's going on at right back. There's just nobody that's that stupid.
Exactly that, and part of me thinks, I mean, we may have touched upon this before in our private discussions and stuff like that. It's almost like internal politics looks like it's running rampant around West Ham. I don't want to sort of make allegations or anything like that, but I don't think Byram was a Bilic signing. And Bilic is trying to stick to his guns and being like, look, I'm not going to have players forced on me. I'm going to keep trying playing my guys in there. And I don't know if it's just blind stubbornness or ignorance or whatever it is, but something needs to be addressed, and people need to sit down and bang their heads together on this sort of front, because we just can't have it continuing, really, with 7 right backs over a course of a season. Just makes the mind boggle.
Tom, do you get any of his thinking at all today? I mean, we've spoken about it briefly, but Kiai right back, Feghouli still playing, Ayew, who had, in our last 2 goals, Ayew had scored one and said that on not Bournemouth bench, back on the bench again. When we did the preview, Luke said, he is our £20 million marquee signing. We have to play him. We have to give him time. We have to get him performing. And again, he had to come off the bench. I mean, we turned up today for, 20 minutes? And that was once Bilic had finally made the subs?
Yeah. Well, where do we start? First of all, rewind yourself back to Chelsea on Monday night. We said it in a group chat, that we have. I even said it on the forum before the game. If Feghouli had done what he'd done on Monday night, and where that ball was going out for the corner, and Kante ran him, the lack of desire, the lack of passion, he would not have been anywhere near my team or any good manager's team for weeks, for the rest of the season even. I do not give a shit if he is absolutely incredible on the training ground. You do not, for once, if someone is going to act like that and be like that, they will have no part or be nowhere near the team. He should have been nowhere near this team this weekend. And if it hasn't been obvious all season at the fact that Feghouli cannot track back, he cannot do the basic things of covering a right back that every West Ham fan can see, that Bilic somehow cannot see. I mean, it is glaring things, Gio. Like Jason said, it might be ignorance or stubborn. I don't know what it is, but there is a point where it starts to really irritate you. And I think what makes it worse is the fact that when Ayew comes on at 55 minutes, damn well he should have played since the start of the game. He should have started the game this weekend. And it's the fact that he scored as well. And I think what pissed me off more than anything this afternoon is the fact that he brought Byram on for Kouyaté in the 70-odd, whenever it was, just before we scored. Why not start him at the start of the game? He's clearly able and ready to play at the start of the game. Why the hell has he had to bring him on for Kouyaté, who, in all fairness, wasn't too bad? I mean, he wasn't great. But it just, it's simple things like bringing Noble off in the 55th minute. Why are we catering for him anymore? I don't understand it. He has not been good enough this season to play week in, week out in this team. It's just, there are so many things that he does that makes no sense whatsoever. And the fact that he is a nice guy, and I do like him, he is a likable character, but bloody hell, he has got no idea, and he needs his head banging if he thinks that his selections in the last couple of weeks have been anything but good. They've been absolutely shocking. And I just, there has to, the thing is, like I just said, I don't see what he sees. He's not an idiot. He has to see some of these glaring mistakes here in this team. I mean, it's just, slowly but surely, I'm getting more wound and wound, just more and more fed up of seeing this same crap week in, week out, because it's just, I don't know what he's doing, Gio. I wish I could make excuses for him, because, that's almost like I feel like we have been doing that for the past few months. We've been making excuses because we know he's a nice guy and he's a great manager. But for the last month and a half, he has just made himself look completely tactically inept, and he's just shown up. He's just shown himself up. He's opened himself up now to criticism from everybody, and it's going to flood in left, right, and centre from West Ham fans. And this time round, it is fully deserved, because he's not had the nous and the brain to make changes and be proactive and reactive to help the team. Because right now, he's not doing that. He's not helping the team. He's doing what he wants, and that is not being beneficial to the team. And it cannot carry on like this, because if we lose next weekend to Leicester and he puts Feghouli back in the team, or he puts Byram on the bench and has Kouyaté at right back, and we end up losing, I am seriously really, really close to losing my tether with him, because there has to become a point when he is open to criticism. And right now, this is all on him. Today is every bit on him, and he needs to answer to his questions. But I swear to God, I cannot go for another week of watching that shite of having Feghouli and square pegs in bloody round holes, because it is just not on. It is not on, and he's probably going to do that next week, and we know that that's what he's going to do. But fair enough. Now accept the criticism that's going to come your way, or change.
Well, I think what's irritating me is it's getting very obvious what team he's going to pick. Everyone knew today. Everyone knew Kouyaté was going to be right back. We all knew it. We all said, we want to see this. We want to see Byram right back, Byram right back. Everyone was saying it. But we all knew Kouyaté was going to be right back, because Bilic, still, I think Bilic picks his 11 and then finds a way to play them all rather than actually picking his formation. Lanzini is not a left midfielder. Lanzini is our best player. He's my favourite player. I want to see him. But we're going to play 4-4-2. Lanzini cannot play unless you're going to play him centre midfield, but then you're going to have a really weak, physically, you're going to have a weak midfielder who's going to be a target. but he probably won't be a target because they're busy targeting our right back. But if you're going to play 4-4-2, Lanzini, unfortunately, can't play. You're going to have to go Carroll and Antonio or Ayew up front, and then you're going to have Snodgrass on one of the wings with probably the other one of Ayew and Antonio on the other wing. You have to set up to play that formation. It's getting everyone on this channel right now, us three, and to be fair, everyone that's on this channel is pro Bilic, but I think we're all starting to get a little bit pissed off. I think we're all starting to get a bit angry. Today we've played fucking long ball football, players out of position. Bilic's stubbornness, his loyalty to players that don't deserve his loyalty. I thought I was watching Sam Allardyce football today. That was a Sam Allardyce way of picking a team, and it was Sam Allardyce football, hoofing it to Andy Carroll every single time. Hoof, hoof, hoof. There was only one team playing football out there today, and that was Bournemouth. Bournemouth were playing really nice football on the deck, blah, blah. We were playing hoofball. And Bilic is hanging our captain out to dry a little bit. I think Noble gets too much stick. Bilic has to help him by not playing him. Get him out from under the bus. Because right now, Bilic has got Noble under the bus. And perhaps all this anger, like Tom said, we've been making excuses for Bilic. Perhaps the last 2 or 3 weeks when everyone's been pointing at Noble, which have actually been pointing at Bilic, but because Noble's in the way, he's sort of the scapegoat and ignore the fact that we should be pointing the finger at Bilic more. But that's mine and Tom's right. I don't want to get too pissed off like Tom just did. Jason, what's your final thoughts and your rant on Bilic and the tactics?
I think I'll keep it a bit shorter and sweeter, but I mean, you guys have gone on about the playing side of things and the manager side of things. A part of me is also thinking, who in the backroom staff is challenging Bilic at the same time? You know, he has an assistant manager for a reason. You know, as they sort of spitball and get ideas from each other, like, has anyone actually got the gall to sort of challenge Bilic? The problem is, what I will just say though, is usually when you pick an assistant manager, you pick someone who sings off the same hymn sheet as you, someone who's going to have your back, regardless of what you do. They're going to defend you. There's a few snakes out there that will stab you in the back, but that's why 80% of times when the manager leaves, the assistant manager leaves as well, because they've got the same idea, they've got the same tactics, etc., and they sing off the same hymn sheet. And that's to an extent what I think it should do. But I think you're right. There needs to be someone in there saying, Slav, what you do? We've all seen pictures. When they were in Dubai, we all seen pictures. Masuaku, Reid, Fonte, Byram in a line, Bibbon. They're clearly playing as a forward back. What are you doing? If you're going to be playing Chiati right back, fucking put Chiati in a bib and play him alongside Fonte in training, and put Andy Carroll up against him. Put Antonio running at him with the ball. Then we'll see if he is cut out for it. Tom, I'll come to you in a second. Jason, I'll let you finish your point. Yeah, you kind of said it itself. I know they're sort of meant to be agreeing and appreciating each other's tactics at the same time, but we do need potentially a character in that backroom staff that can offer a different perspective, because as you've seen, we don't really seem to have a plan B at the same time. And I know the board get a lot of stick at the same time, but one thing they have done I took notice of, was especially with the Allardyce era, when they pushed the boat out and brought Teddy Sheringham back in as an attacking coach. Like, they're not afraid to make that sort of decision, and potentially we may need them to sort of get involved in that sort of front and maybe bring in someone that can bring a bit of tactical nuance to the team. I don't know. I'm just, we just need some sort of plan B when the plan A, as it has been in recent times, is just sort of falling flat on its face, to be honest. Right,
I'm going to get a final word from all three of us. Before I do that, Gonzo was at the game today with a few other people from Hammershire. They've done a vlog, so there will be a vlog. What we'll say, the one positive from today, the 12th man, once again, were absolutely fantastic. So keep your eyes out for the vlog. It should be up on our channel tomorrow/Sunday, so hit the subscribe button here. So final word, guys. Tom?
Right, just really quickly, 2 points. One is, if we are going to play Andy Carroll up top on his own, can we at least for once have some people in that team that can actually cross? Because for me, I don't know about you, I didn't see him win a single header all day that crossed into the box. And it's just, and I understand that Cresswell has not been as good as he has been this season, or Feghouli wasn't in there.
Sorry to interrupt. What I will say, there should have been a warning in the week when that Bournemouth defender came out and said, Andy Carroll's like a League One striker. I'm fucking loving this battle. I cannot wait to get in there against Andy Carroll. He basically said, bring on the aerial battle. And we played right into the bugger's hands. But carry on, Tom.
Yeah. And do you know what? He didn't look fit. Once again, he didn't look fit against Chelsea. And he didn't look fit again today. If he's not fit, don't play him. Do you know what I mean? And we are not catering to his style of foot. I know we're putting in crosses, but we're lumping in balls that are going either outside of the box or corners that can't even beat the first man. It was like Lanzini's free kick at the end. It went over the back into the thing. You're not playing to the people's strengths. The crossing, the delivery has been absolutely shocking all season, even before when we had Payet, his delivery from corners and that. We all know how bad they've been. But the other thing is, Cresswell all season, since he's come back from his injury, has been bad. Why are we not giving Masuaku a chance at left back? Do you know what I mean? And the thing that really irritates me more than anything, these are defensive coaches. Bilic was a defender. Dix, even though for me personally, he was a PR stunt by the club because he seems to do absolutely sweet fuck all, really. These are defenders who should know what they're doing. And we are an absolute laughing stock at the back right now. And we need to there needs to be a serious shake-up. But how big a shake-up it can be, and as much as, ruffling Bilic's feathers or whatever, but he's not doing himself any good. And the way that he is going, he probably will end up leaving in the summer, not for him being sacked, but just for his contract not being renewed, because the board are probably going to take a long, hard look at him. And the thing is, I know that the board are another discussion entirely. That is still an issue with the way that they deal with things. But there's another issue, and that is the way that Bilic is dealing with his team at the minute, and he needs to buck up because otherwise he probably will more than likely be gone in the summer.
Jason, final words.
It just seems like our season's gone in a circle, really, to be honest. We had the horrendous start, the pick up in the middle, and it seems to be like we're going to fall flat at the finish. We're just stumbling over the line here. I think half the players have got got holidays in the back of their mind going on, the summer holidays, and I just think, lots of things need to be addressed in the coming months if things do not change. And I'm not really looking forward to the Leicester game, to be honest. They've turned form, and I wouldn't be surprised if we fall flat on our faces again.
The thing is, so Leicester are going to be licking their lips. I mean, it's like the London Stadium as well. I mean, we'll get into that in the preview. But what I will say about Tom, I agree the board's not great. But Bilic has to do all he can with the squad he's got so that the problem is the board's problem. So people go, you're to blame the board. But right now they can't because Bilic ain't using his right back. Looking at our bench today, we had 3 defenders on it. Byram, Masuaku, 3 defenders. Where's Kaleri? Where's Fletcher? No striker on the bench. I know you're going to say Ayew, but there's no striker on the bench.
You know what's worse? David Gold tweeted before the game saying we're taking our strongest squad to Bournemouth with us. Not by the frigging looks of it, Dave, with the state of that bench. Do you know what I mean? We're so
only missing, to be fair, we're only missing Ogbonna and Sacco. But the thing is, we've got no striker on the bench. I think that just sums up Slav and his confidence and trust in some members of his team today. He doesn't trust Fletcher or Clary to be on his bench. He doesn't trust Byram at right back. He doesn't trust his 11 without Mark Noble. Rightly or wrongly, I'm not saying he's right, but he just doesn't trust all these things. You heard him in the week. He's not playing great, but he offers a lot more than he offers leadership on the pitch. So you tell me Fonte, who's been a captain at Southampton for years, doesn't offer leadership? Of course he does. But anyway, I think we're going to have to wrap up there. We're going to be here all night. Like I said, Gonzo's been to the game. The vlog will be up. Come on to our forum, hammerschat.com. The link is below. Everyone will be on that forum having a rant right now. You can come have a rant in the comments below. Put your rant there and come on to the forum because people will reply to you. Hundreds of West Ham fans read it. So come on and get your opinion read. Have a conversation. We do this every game. I'm going to do it anyway. Not quite my match, Tom, but is there anyone that comes out with you played well, pat on the back for you? Well, surely Ayew does.
Ayew does.
Byron?
Yeah, no, and Ayew does. I was about to say Randolph probably. Obviously, the pen save, and there's a couple of really good saves that he put in there. Ayew obviously came on, apart from the dodgy pass that he had at the end, really changed the game, which we expected him to do. Got his goal again. So however many in the last few games. And Byram for the assist. It is hilarious that the 2 people that we're speaking about, the irony that the 2 people that probably should have played today combined for the goal. So, it is funny. And I thought a little good stat at the end was the fact that I saw on Twitter from Squawker, which was they've only ever scored 2 hat-tricks, Bournemouth, in the Premier League, and both of them have come against us, which is fantastic. So, no, Randolph, Ayew, and then Byram for when they came on for my 3.
Jason, anyone to add to that list?
No, I think Tom summed up in a nutshell, to be honest. The main talking points, the people that should have started are the ones that showed up, and I think that just speaks volumes.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts. That's been our thoughts. Thank you for joining us. Hit the subscribe button. We'll have loads of videos coming up, and we'll see you later.